Hello out there in YouTube land. This is Morrisman. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my talk show, Tell It Like It Is. We've been gone for a while and we apologize. We've been busy with a lot of projects and doing a lot of different things, but we are back with some new shows, some new ideas, and some new comments or new topics. Today's topic is, before I do that, I'm going to reintroduce my co-host, which is
Joseph Spencer.
Okay, how you doing, Joe?
I'm up. I'm alive, man.
Good, that's good. Okay, so the topic today is going to be more or less a free form. We're going to talk about various things. It won't be just one thing. But we are going to start off with what is the problem that we're having or why we're having problems with some of our young black men. And I stress some of our black men. I don't believe in lumping everybody into one category because everybody doesn't fit. But people throughout the city recognize me from the talk show. And one of the first things they wanted to talk to me about a debate is when we did that hot button topic about young black men and women stop giving your kids these stupid made up names. And one person gave me this statement. Well, you know, white people gave us these names. That's true, but guess what? If you want to take it there, the majority of the clothes that we wear were made by white people. The cars that we drive were made by white people. So are we going to stop driving our cars and wearing our clothes because of that? So it's some nonsense as far as this trying to connect with Africa when you don't live in Africa and you've never been to Africa, and we've been detached from Africa for 400 years. So we're quote unquote not Africans. Now we are descendants from people from Africa, but just like white folks are descendants from people from Ireland, from England. So, but I don't see them making a big deal about that, as far as I'm going to send them our whole world about that concept. They're too busy trying to make a living and focus on the here and now, what's more important, because my name is important as far as the name that I have, but I'm not going to lose any sleep because I feel I got to change my name to represent my heritage. It's nonsense. It's a waste of time. And we should be focused on some other stuff other than we need to name our babies these names that can't be pronounced, because I'm going to say this and let you have it because I get on a tangent when we get on this topic. Our focus should be on bettering ourselves and not necessarily this heritage thing, because guess what? Everybody know you black. You know, there's no mystery when you walk in the room. They're like, what nationality are you? We know this, so why are we focusing on this? And as far as I want control, we have laws and rules in this world that help us stay focused, because if there was no rules, we all would do what we want to do. You know, so therefore it helps us have a sense of discipline to have these rules and regulations, that you can't come to work with blue hair or, you know, holes in your blue jeans unless you work at a record shop or you're in the music industry, you know. But corporate America, they have guidelines, they have dress codes, and we need to obey by those, you know.
And they use those dress codes to keep your butt out.
Exactly, and we're alienating and helping that cause by coming to work looking like we live in another country. You know, that's different if you lived in another country and you came here. Yeah, your heritage is from the motherland, but I was born here. My daddy was born here. His daddy was born here. So on and so forth. His daddy was born here, yeah. Exactly. So, you know, we need to get off that because that's not important. What's important is securing a future for you and your kids and following guidelines that are actually beneficial, as opposed to you helping alienate yourself by wanting to go left when everybody's going right. You know, business is just not about you. It's about them and you coming in and helping them make their business bigger and stronger. But it's about the business. It's not about what you think you should wear and who you should be called, you know. But, you know, so be it. But turning it over to Joe, because I can run off like a racehorse on this one.
You're talking about social media, fashion, food, language, entertainment, all that. You just got it all in there. And people, young kids don't realize what they're doing started 40 years ago.
Absolutely, they don't.
They don't realize that.
And I partially blame us, or more so blame the older people, because we are responsible for our kids. We are responsible for their development. And if they kind of fall out of place, it's our fault, or it's our responsibility to put them back on track. You know, they don't know any better. And here is a thing that somebody brought to my attention that I kind of didn't notice. They was like, gold tips. I'm like, what's gold tips?
What is gold tips?
And gold tips are these young guys that wear these braids and their hair are dyed and the tips are gold. And I'm looking at this, and you've seen these guys with the braids, the Jamaican-looking braids. I'm like, These guys never been to Jamaica. This is a Jamaica culture. Why are you clinging on or embracing this? And the answer to that question is we follow or we emulate what we see
Number one, dreadlocks start off being a spiritual thing.
for people from Jamaica,
From
which is
people?
totally understandable. That's their culture from their land.
And it started off being a spiritual thing. When it hit the States, it became a political thing like the natural. You know, it was a political and a social statement, the natural was. You know, there were very few people who had it. And if you did, in certain neighborhoods, you were criticized. I talked to a lady, I was at the clinic, and she was telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. And she told me that's not true. And I said, well, in the 60s, in my neighborhood, I was the first one with the natural, and I was ostracized about it, told, get out the house, go get your hair cut, and was called a homosexual. You know.
But you know what's interesting, if I can interject about the natural, that was something that did come from this country. It came from the culture from within this country.
You know, I found out that the natural actually came out of the service with black women. When they went to Europe.
But even still, in the
Yeah.
United States, it was contained here.
Right.
Not like with this Jamaican dread nonsense where it's definitely from Jamaica. And these young guys who live in the States who've never been to Jamaica and don't have generic Jamaican.
They find it in the fashion magazine.
Yeah, it's a fad.
a fad.
And that's fine if these fads are not harming and damaging to our young folks. Because guess what? Who's going to most likely hire somebody walking in that's not Jamaican with dreads in corporate America? Or any other business working at Target, you know? And again, I blame us for this because we are responsible for our offsprings. And I believe from some of the research I've done, it's like, when did we start to get disconnected and out of control? And I would have to say it was somewhere in the mid-'70s, because up until around that time, young folks were still kind of following a tradition that was working, meaning that you know, you fall in love, you commit to this person, you get married, and you might sometimes don't start off, you know, moving out immediately, getting married and starting your family. Because I remember some people, their sons, daughters got married, but they were still living with them for about a year till they saved up their money and moved and got their own place and got their family started. Somewhere along the line, that kind of broke off, and now what you got now, the majority of these young guys, they come from a situation where mom was just kicking it with daddy and had a baby, and they didn't get married, and daddy left, and I'm here with mama and grandmama.
I met a lady who told me she was a reverend, and she was shacking.
Standards have changed, you know. I mean, we done a whole show on religion. It's like I have no, you know, having the people that claim to be religious be on some BS, you know. What better thing to have behind than religion? Because we have been conditioned not to question that. So we don't, and when we do, we're heretics.
Gonna die and go to hell.
Yeah, you know, what's that other word? When you don't believe in God, is it heretic?
Heretic.
Atheist.
Atheist.
Yeah.
Well, heretic is a person who says stuff against the church.
Okay, yeah. So
Heresy. Cut off his head, burn him.
yeah, so we are, you know, we've been conditioned that if we question religion, we bad people and all that kind of
evil
stuff.
and
Let me make this point about music, and then we'll touch on the whole issue of young black men, because we're on the music topic right now anyway. I talked about on my other video about how black music, R&B music, has not evolved. It has digressed, and like I said, I don't blame the young folks. I blame the older people, because back in the 60s, if you came to a record company to become a studio musician or artist, if you didn't know how to play your guitar, you got sent home. And they told you, bring it back when you learn how to play it, and then you can be part of this. And that's what a lot of these young people did. They went back and studied their craft, or the term they used to use was go to do some wood shedding.
Yeah.
Meaning that go in and sharpen your craft. Nowadays, we've lowered that standard, and we let people in that can't even play their piano with two hands, and they think they're genius. And we go ahead and accept this in and lower the standards of music. And that's why R&B music is in the state that it is today, because we lowered the standard. You know, we don't allow these people or demand from them to learn how to sing, learn to read music. No theory. If this is going to be your business, know your business.
I think music.
But let's tackle on that, because we can get in that music thing for the longest. Here is my take on the reason why, and then you can give your take on it too. Here's my take on why young black men, and I stress some and not all, that the reason why they're out of control. I don't totally blame them. I don't even mostly blame them. I blame the people that brought them here. We're responsible for our children, and it doesn't stop at 18 in most cases. It's a lifetime commitment. But what do you expect from any man, young man, whether he's black or white or Mexican or whatever? What do you expect from a man who, when he's brought into this world, he doesn't even have his balance coming into the game, meaning that he don't have daddy. And daddy plays a big part in children's life, just as much as women. But we've been conditioned in this country that, it's okay not to have your daddy around, just as long as you got mama.
That statement, I have to be the daddy and the mama too.
Yeah, and you can't be that. I mean, I think I try to be the best father that I can be to my daughter, but guess what? I can't be a mother.
Can't be a mother.
I can't, and I'm not trying to be. But that's the other thing. You got some women that are trying to be, and it's like...
They not trying. They truly believe.
Yeah, they truly believe that they can handle both, and it's like that's nonsense.
Both sexes. Man, I had a person in my life tell me, in her 60s, you know what? Men and women are different.
And they are.
So that's why you think I'm crazy.
Yeah, they are.
Because I'm not thinking like one of your girlfriends. Yeah. My answer is not coming like one of your girlfriends, and it's just totally be faultless. I'm a man.
Well, let me just say this, because it fits into here. Then we continue with this as far as the black man thing. There was a song that Jennifer Holliday put out about a year ago with the singer Neo and the rapper Rick Ross. It was from a Kevin Hart movie. It's called Think Like a Man. Mm-hmm. And the hook line is act like a puma but think like a man. I think that is the most ridiculous, insulting statement that you can say or give to a woman, and she believes this or not. Because women shouldn't have to think like us because they're not like us.
They're not like us.
And it's an insult, and there's some people that just like, they didn't catch this because this is an insult to women, that statement. Women should act like women. There's a reason why they act like they act, because they're women. There's a reason why we act like we act, because we're men.
We're men.
So I just wanted to interject and make that statement. It's one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard. Act like a man. Think like a man.
And it's man thing. Several years ago, 5 years ago, when I hit 60, I was sitting out, and a young black man was looking at me like I was an animal in a cage, and finally he walked toward me. Excuse me, Kent. He's looking at my gray hair. He says, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah, my brother, what?" He says, "How old are you?" I said, I just made 60. He gasped, "Oh, 60? I said, "Yeah. I don't know nobody 60. And I said, "What?" I said, "How old are you?" "I'm 23. You don't have anybody in your family that's 60.
No, because grandma was like 40. When back in the day, grandma was like 65 when she became grandmama.
Yeah.
Now grandma was 39, 40.
I began to correlate that information. I didn't want to insult him or hurt his feelings, but I wanted to ask him how old his mother was. And I figured she probably was 15 years older.
Exactly. 15, 16 years older than her.
Maybe even 13.
Right. And grandmama 15, 16 years older than her.
Yeah. And that goes all the way back to slavery.
I know,
days.
Yeah. And that's a good point.
Yeah.
And by no means we think that we have the answers to these social problems, but these are just our opinions. And one of my opinions is this, and we don't know any better. We have no business having kids when we can't afford them.
Can't afford them.
If you can afford 5 or 16 kids, that's wonderful. But you ain't got a dime in your pocket. You don't have a job, no skill sets, no education. You still at your mom's house, and you having kids.
And it's just not a monetary thing. It's a spiritual.
And it's a time-consuming thing, because kids are a big investment in your time and your money.
But
if you're already struggling, and I just said to let you take it, if you're already struggling, the last thing you need is to put a baby in the picture where now you got to take some of your time that you don't have much of, or you're not utilizing your time properly, and money, and focus on trying to get your kid to become a developed individual. So there are a lot of things we need to do or have to do on our own to assure that we might have some type of success in life at some point in time. Because the last thing you need is something that's going to set you back. And that's what we've been doing now. These young guys that are out here, they mama had them when they were 16 years old, didn't marry daddy.
13, 14,
exactly.
16.
At home with their mama, living on the system of welfare. So we're doing ourselves more damage than good when we come out of the gate doing these things that are not going to be beneficial to our development. We need a class that will help these young folks stay focused as far as what not to do. Because here is the scenario. You got the average guy, young black guy, out there being sexual, have a baby. He kind of leave the scene and he's not committed to this woman. And then all of a sudden he think he's gotten away. I'm not taking care of that baby. Probably wouldn't mind anyway. 5, 10 years later down the line, he's working a minimum wage job because he didn't go to college or don't have any skill sets. So he's struggling with his present family and his present kids. And guess what? He go to work one day, get his paycheck, and 30% of it's missing. And he's upset. And what happened was they caught up with him.
Right.
So it's like, don't be stupid and put yourself in that situation that in a couple of years, because there are 2 things you can't avoid in this country: paying back your college loans and paying child support. You can file bankruptcy all day long. That's not going to help you.
You have to leave the country.
Yeah, and when you come back, your tab is still mounting. Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Back then, it was customary to have a lot of kids. But guess what? The majority of those kids were by the same man, and most likely they were married to that dude before he left.
And they were going out the field.
Yeah, but now it's like it's very common for a woman in her 20s to have 3 kids, never been married, and 2 of those kids are by 2 different other men.
You're right.
And these were short-term relationships. Sometimes these guys had left before the baby was even born.
And that's all mixed up with the gangsters and the music and killing folks.
Yeah.
It seems like being able to kill another man is a masculine thing in certain black neighborhoods. You're not a real man unless you can blow somebody's brains out. Yeah. And there are actually little girls who get off on that.
Yeah. But on that note, because we went well over our time and our production assistant is looking at us with the little hand thing, so we will tackle in more detail, because this is more or less a free form at this particular segment, but we will address in another segment by itself in its entirety as far as why do we think that's what's wrong with some of our young black men today, because that's important. So on that note, we're signing off, and as always, keep thinking. And my co-hosts,
yeah, keep thinking. Be blessed.
Until next time, take care and keep thinking.